you at this event every single year. And at this very special time, it is my pleasure to introduce our MC for the evening, Mel Madigan.
All right. Good evening, everybody. So let me just get my notes real quick. Settled. Got that. All right, so I'm going to start with my speech. So good evening, everyone. I'm thrilled to be here tonight for the 57th annual Shad Derby Coronation Ball. And yes, awesome. Windsor Junior Women's Club, they do an amazing time every time. This is my 3rd year in a row, and I will never not come because I have such a great time. So thank you to everybody, and everybody at the Marriott as well. Dinner was delicious. Dessert was amazing. So thank you. So as a business owner and a member of this community, I'm so impressed by the potential and the talent I see in each and every one of our candidates tonight. As young women, they have the power to shape the future and make a real difference in the world. And I want to encourage them and everyone in this room to embrace that power and run with it. I tell my son every day, his superpower is that there is only one of him in this world. And that's a beautiful and powerful thing. You get to be you, and there's only one you. Your creativity, your passion, your love, and having your own skills to make your dreams come true. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what makes the world go round. So my hope towards whatever adventure and goals these ladies set their mind on is that to never be afraid to dream big and aim high. Don't let anyone say that you can't do something. Because the truth is, you can do anything that you set your mind to. Starting my own business was not easy, but it was worth every doubt, every fear, and every excitement. I learned so much about perseverance, hard work, and believing in myself. So, my hope towards whatever adventure and to embrace your passions and interests, and don't be afraid to try new things. Whether it's science, art, leadership, there's so many ways to make a positive impact. Remember, failure is not the end. It's an opportunity to learn and grow. Don't be afraid to take risks and try again and again. All a mistake is a learning curve. You, the ladies here tonight, are part of a long legacy of strong, smart, and compassionate women. And I know that each and every one of them has the potential to do great things. So go out there, make your mark. Be bold, be fearless, and most important, be kind. It's so easy to be kind. And always remember that you have the support and the encouragement of this community behind you that I personally have felt every step of the way, and I know that you will feel every step of the way in your journey, because we are Windsor strong. All right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce each of our 2024 Shad Derby candidates. So we're going to start with Madison Shea with Miss Windsor Jaycees.
Jadyanny, Rosario, Miss Kiwanis Club of Windsor, escorted by Raymond.
Kitchen at Back East, escorted by Matthew Lake. Next up, we have Victoria Diaz, Miss Berkshire Hathaway, North Services, escorted by Javier Diaz. Alright, next up, we have Emily Lattimer with Miss Nunes, Quality Plumbing and Heating, escorted by Alessandro Duncan Adams. Alright, next up we have Kristen Laakso, Miss Casey we have Lorelei, Sasportas, Miss Chiropractic, escorted by Alex Gafino. Alright, next up we have Sirena Skye Raymond, Miss Windsor Historical Society, escorted by Ryan Davis. Alright, next up we have Emery Conant, Miss Rotary Club of Windsor, escorted by Samuel Conant. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 Shad Kids. And awesome. All right, each candidate tonight has prepared an essay in response to the following statement. So, your younger self is coming to Windsor for the first time. What is some life advice you would tell yourself and share one of your favorite Windsor memories? So each candidate is going to approach. I'm going to introduce them. And the first up, we have Madison Shea with the Windsor, Miss Windsor Jaycees.
Oh, look, she's hired.
She's hired.
Here we go. There we go.
Dear Madison, there is a lot ahead of you that you do not know quite yet. As an 8-year-old transferring from a small Catholic school in Torrington, Connecticut to Windsor Public Schools, there will be countless challenges that you will need to face. Leaving behind all that you know and suddenly becoming the new girl is no easy feeling, especially at such a young age, but it is a challenge you will overcome. Upon reflecting on my own memories of coming to Windsor for the first time, I begin to consider what kind of life advice I would give to someone experiencing the same situation. After much contemplation, I've come to realize that my best piece of advice for others would to always remember to show kindness and to never compare one another. Everyone's journey looks different, and I have found that the Windsor community is incredibly accepting of that. Windsor is an impressively diverse town that provides access to many helpful resources and valuable educators. When I first became a student at Windsor Public Schools, I was struggling academically. In the 5th grade, I was diagnosed with learning disability known as dyscalculia. Since then and throughout my entire school career, I required extra help in order to succeed in my education. Of course, I became very self-conscious and anxious about it. Consistently being placed in the lowest level math class than all your peers is a very difficult reality for a young student to face. However, I was very fortunate to have such caring and supportive teachers along the way that wanted to watch me succeed. The support that has been shown to me over the years has left a lasting impression, and I'm so appreciative for everything that has been provided to me. Through these experiences, I grew as a person. I have learned that it is okay to have a different path. Just because one's journey looks different does not mean that it's wrong. Nothing in life is ever easy or linear, and we all have our own struggles and battles. That's the amazing thing about Windsor. We all come from very diverse backgrounds, and there will always be someone that is willing to help you. Through this reflection, I couldn't help but reminisce about my memories throughout my time here in Windsor. As I started preparing to embark on a new journey attending Bryant University, I began to wonder what my favorite memories are. My favorite Windsor memory was working for Hastings Tobacco this summer going into my freshman and sophomore year. Even though I was working in the hot summer heat for countless hours, this experience allowed me the ability to develop a strong work ethic and taught me how to work as a team. These life skills are assets that I will be able to carry with me and improve upon as I navigate through my working life. Picking tobacco is Windsor focused, and I'm very proud to say that I have been able to participate in such a prominent piece of the town's history. I am very happy that I have been a Windsor resident for 10 years. I'm grateful for the opportunities that have presented themselves. Because of this, I have taken away many life skills and lessons. Lastly, I would like to thank everyone for their support, especially my family and my sponsor, the Windsor Jaycees.
Next up, we have Jadyanny, Rosario.
To my younger self, as you begin your journey to Windsor for the first time as a 7th grader, I want to impart some wisdom that I wish I had known when I first stepped foot into this town. You may believe that finding friends is the key to navigating Windsor's challenges, but let me tell you, true strength lies in your self-worth. It's easy to fall into the trap of seeking validation from others, but your worth isn't determined by the number of friends you have or the opinions of those around you. Instead, it's found within yourself, in your passions, your talents, and your ability to persevere through adversity. During your time here, you'll face moments of uncertainty, especially with the sport you love, volleyball. In your volleyball journey, know that it will be filled with exhilarating highs and crushing lows. You'll discover a love for the sport that ignites your passion, pouring your heart and soul into every practice and game. However, there will be moments when you'll feel the weight of self-doubt, especially when your own coach fails to recognize your potential and belittles your efforts. Despite the tears shed and the discouragement faced, remember that your determination and hard work will ultimately pave the way for your success. You'll rise above the negativity, honing your skill tirelessly until you become the formidable player you were always destined to be. And as you journey into college volleyball, know that you've earned every honor and opportunity through sheer perseverance and dedication. Your strength and resilience will carry you far, proving that no one can define your worth except for yourself. Keep pushing forward, for the best is yet to come. In the midst of challenges and difficulties, hold on to the memories that bring you joy and remind yourself of the power of community. One of my favorite Windsor memories is the spirit found in the community during our football and basketball games. These events were more than just sporting competitions. There were opportunities for the community to come together, to celebrate, to support one another, and to forge bonds that would last a lifetime. Cherish these moments, for they are a testament to the strength and unity that can be found when we stand together. In conclusion, my younger self, remember that you are enough just as you are. Trust in yourself, stay true to your values, and never underestimate the power of your own determination. Windsor will present you with the challenges, but it will also offer you the opportunities for growth, self-discovery, and unforgettable memories. Embrace each experience, learn from every obstacle, and always remember that your worth is not defined by others, but by the strength and resilience within you. Keep your silly, corny self with the jokes that are so unfunny that they are truly funny, kid, because you've made it far. Thank you, Windsor, for all of the memories, and a special thanks to my sponsor, the Kiwanis Club, for giving me the opportunity to carry on Windsor's most beloved tradition.
All right, next up, I'd love to introduce Olivia Karlowicz, Miss The Kitchen at Back East.
I was born in Windsor and have lived here my whole life. Running up and down the same town green since birth, I am very proud to say that when I leave this next year, in order to fulfill my dreams of going to college and become a speech pathologist, I will be more than excited to be asked, where are you from? With pride, I will be able to say Windsor is my home. I'm excited to go through this next chapter in my life, representing this town and all the people who got me here. Now I'd love to stand up here and talk about all the cherished memories I have from this town. The late nights at Dairy Cream, or maybe music on the green, sledding at Oliver Ellsworth, or pool days at Welch. If you're not from Windsor, there's a short itinerary for you in case you're interested. I don't have time to tell you all my favorite moments, but I would like to share something that happened recently. A couple weeks ago, as I was thinking about what to write in the speech, I got a call. You'll probably be shocked to hear it wasn't from a college or from a family member. It was a call from the eye doctor. Come pick up your glasses. I thought, all right, I might as well get this done before I forget. So I took the trip to get them and put them on for the drive home. Thinking, now I could see better. Thanks a lot, Sherlock, right? And although I'm not saying it was a dramatic moment in my life, it's a thought I had on the way home. I was stuck thinking about how one little thing in my life had changed me so much. I couldn't stop smiling after I had a not so good day at school, and I was just happy to be able to see better than I could have ever imagined. This made me think about how changing my perspective just a little bit could completely shift how I see the world. This has become a theme in my life recently. I'm consistently reminded to take everything I have in life and use it to the best of my ability in order to become the best version of myself. Doubting myself instead of just accepting I'm not always perfect became my reality. As I near the end of this journey, I'm not only proud of how far I've come, but also beyond proud of the girl standing next to me. Congratulations to you all. Finally, I would like to thank my sponsor, The Kitchen at Back East, for this amazing opportunity. I'm honored to say the least, and thank you for everyone who came out to support. I hope you have an amazing night.
All right, next up is Victoria Diaz with Miss Berkshire Hathaway Home Services.
If I could turn back in time and revisit Windsor through the eyes of my younger self, one thing that would stand out vividly is my grandmother's persevering outlook on life. Summed up perfectly by our favorite quote, everything you ever wanted is on the other side of fear. Back then, fear and anxiety and shyness were like a giant wall blocking my path. Even now, nerve and anxiety often fill my mind, making it challenging to step beyond my comfort zone. Whether it's speaking up in class or trying something new, or even being here right now, I'm literally dying inside. But as I look back, I realize how those fears shaped me and how they transformed my journey. Some of the best memories I had are the times I spent riding bikes with my grandma throughout the town, going to the bike trails and the library, watching the trains and throwing rocks into the Farmington River. Those moments were not just about pedaling around, but about confronting fears head on. Take, for example, our adventure on Palisade Ave, which has an infamous train bridge where trucks constantly get stuck under no matter how many signs are posted. It has a narrow sidewalk with a fence and a cement wall on one side. It was a personal mission for my grandma, who struggles with claustrophobia to ride down that hill. She asked me to help her through it, and I'm always up for the challenge. It seemed like a simple sidewalk for me, but it was so much more for her. As we stood at the top of the hill, I reassured her, but as she started down, her bike gained momentum. She flew down like a ball in a pinball machine, bouncing off the wall and fence. It was a sight I will never forget. Despite a few scrapes and bruises, she never gave up. She finally landed. We laughed until our stomachs hurt. And even though many would have called it quits, my grandma did not. She rode home that day, and the next day we were back in the same spot, ready to try again. Now you may ask, did she make it down that day? No. Has she ever? Not yet. But we haven't given up. We're still trying, still laughing, and still learning. Those bike rides with my grandma are treasures I'll forever hold special. So if my younger self was coming to Windsor for the first time, some life advice I would tell her is what those memories taught me. It doesn't matter who's watching, who's judging. What matters is having the courage to pursue your dreams and to go after your goals. I would also say work on being fearless. Find a way to cope with anxiety and kick those walls down. So to my grandma, thank you for the laughter, the lessons, and the inspiration. I love it. I am incredibly grateful and thankful to Berkshire Hathaway Home Services for believing in me and sponsoring me. And to everyone here tonight, if you ever find yourself near that train bridge with the scariest sidewalk in Windsor, remember the power of perseverance and the joy of facing fears head on. Thank you.
All right, next up is Emily Lattimer, Miss Nunes Quality Plumbing and Heating.
Good evening, everyone. For all 18 years of my life, I've grown up in Windsor. Now, as I'm preparing for college, my future, and reflecting upon the memories I've made, I'm just now realizing the importance of growing up in such a tight-knit community. If I were to go back to my naive younger self, I would tell her one thing: never limit yourself. When I was growing up, I was always encouraged to try whatever my heart desired. From starting dance at the age of 2 to joining Little League as soon as I was old enough to play t-ball. I never had any care how good I was at dancing or softball. I just knew it was fun for me, and I got to be surrounded by my best friends. But over the years, I started to compare my skills to my peers, and my confidence began to diminish. The same scenario started occurring in school as well. And while I pushed through tough classes, seeing my classmates do better than me, despite my best efforts, frustrated me. I'd reached a personal plateau and feared I would be forever stuck behind. When I had transitioned from dance to joining Windsor Youth Theater, I was hoping for another opportunity to grow my dancing talents and find the thing I could be good at. I've always adored musical theater and dreamt of getting to be the star of the show and thought now was my time. However, this was not the case. My frustrations only grew as I got ensemble or small roles each year. Even in my senior year show, I was given an ensemble role and it crushed me at first. However, I wouldn't allow myself to make my senior year miserable, so I changed my mindset. Looking back now, I'm so extremely proud of myself and the way I worked hard and pushed myself and the rest of the cast to make a great senior year show. I began to break out of my shell and started feeling like myself, making lifelong friendships and ending my theater career with one of my favorite shows and my favorite Windsor memories. After this, I started focusing on the small things and finding hope through them. The simplest memories, like passing my first ever AP exam and hitting my first high school career home run, kept me going and brought the joy back into my favorite activities that I hadn't felt in a while. I was finally learning that by being completely myself and doing what I loved is where I felt my best. I've stopped caring what everyone else is doing and focused on my own happiness and wish I was able to come to this revelation so much sooner. I'm incredibly proud of myself and the growth I've made as a person in the past year. So I would tell my younger self, never limit yourself. So she always knows the power of finding happiness and confidence in everything she would do and everything she's still going to accomplish. Special thanks to Nunes Quality Plumbing and Heating for sponsoring me this year, and thank you all for being here tonight.
All right, next up we have Kristen Laakso, Miss PC Development Group.
While reflecting upon my 17 years living in Windsor, I was challenged with the question, what advice would you tell your younger self? While sitting on my couch trying to think, I wasn't sure what to write. So, I started thinking of my favorite things about Windsor. The first bit of advice I would give my younger self is to truly value the diversity within this town. There are so many people from so many different backgrounds that live in Windsor, and with this, it's super important to learn about everyone's backgrounds as these are people in your community. Learning someone's background allows you to connect so much more with them, which is important to have in such a tight-knit town like Windsor. I would also tell myself to make sure to get involved with volunteering. There are so many volunteer options in Windsor alone. Whether you like animals, sports, reading, gardening, or even just volunteering in general, there are so many organizations and opportunities located right here in Windsor. I believe it is so important as well to get involved within these organizations, not only to help out the community, but also to have that experience working alongside others. Tying back to the diversity within the town and volunteering, I believe the most important piece of advice to give myself would be to take the time to get to know the people of Windsor. Windsor has a great sense of community, and it's one of the best parts about it. Everyone in the community cares about one another, and they all take the time to come together for town events. One of these events is the Little League opening day. That is by far one of my favorite Windsor memories. Each year around the beginning of springtime, I would patiently be waiting for opening day. You would see so many people there. Friends, family, old Little League players, and even the Shad Derby contestants. It was a day where you got to run around with your friends and have fun, and then go play your very first game of the season with everyone there to watch and cheer you on. It really gave me a strong feel of the community in Windsor and how everyone takes the time to show up for each other. I feel it has come full circle being able to walk in the opening day parade as a Shad Derby contestant just a couple weeks ago. With my time in Windsor coming to an end, I can use the advice I would give to my younger self to help me when I leave for college. The community in Windsor has had such a big part in my raising and my own personal growth. Now, I can carry my experience with me to where I end up next. As I embark on my journey in Tampa, I'll use everything I learned from living in Windsor to help me thrive there. I may no longer be in Windsor, but Windsor will always be my home. Thank you so much to my sponsor, PC Development, and I hope everyone has a great night. Thank you.
All right, next up, Lorelei, Sasportas, Miss Curry, Chiropractic.
I was born October 4th, 2006. Just 3 days later, on October 7th, my parents wrapped up their newborn, put me in a stroller, and walked me and my older sister down to the center of town for the annual Chili Challenge, and so began my life as a Windsor resident. I would call my childhood idyllic. I have lived in the center of the oldest town in Connecticut my entire life. A quick walk put me on the town green for Shad Derby festivals, Memorial Day parades, the aforementioned Chili Challenges, and so many other community events. The Chili Challenges were always my favorite. I have never technically participated, however, my grandfather, whose family has been a part of this town for generations, entered his chili a few times. He is also part of the reason that I'm standing here giving this speech tonight. This town means so much to him, and he was so thrilled to see that I was following in my sister's footsteps as a candidate for Shad Derby Queen. If I was to talk to my younger self about growing up in this community, I would tell myself to take advantage of everything it offered and all the people you have the opportunity to get to know. One thing about me that most people don't know is for about 4 years I was homeschooled. I was able to develop relationships with people in town through town sports. Most importantly for me, the Windsor Water Rat swim team, which I have been a part of for 13 years, which is basically since kindergarten. That team is where I met so many of my closest friends, and I am so thankful for everything it has given me. I started attending Windsor Public Schools in 5th grade, and the first few years of public school were very hard for me. I've always been a very anxious person, and that anxiety only grew when I started going to public school. Going into high school, I felt a little more comfortable since I knew more people and I had friends that I could trust. However, we started our freshman year in the fall of 2020, which was the height of COVID. Nothing was normal about our first 2 years of high school. However, swimming provided a little bit of normalcy, as I was able to swim on the high school swim team with people who I had been swimming with since kindergarten. I continued to swim all 4 years of high school and finished this year as co-captain with my best friend. She brought me out of my shell in the best way possible, and I would not be here giving this speech if it wasn't for her taking me out of my comfort zone. I would also tell my younger self to take advantage of the ability to learn from my diverse group of peers. I'm so incredibly grateful that I had the chance to go to school with people from a wide range of backgrounds. I believe this will help me greatly in my future career. I plan to go to cosmetology school at the International Institute of Cosmetology to become a hairdresser and possibly own a salon in the future. My school years in this community have developed my ability to understand others' perspectives. I know that I will be able to make anyone who sits in my chair feel comfortable because I was taught to work and learn with such a diverse group of people right here in my hometown. Thank you for being here tonight in support of my fellow Queen candidates and I, and a special thanks to Curry Chiropractic for sponsoring me and my older sister so we could both have this amazing Windsor experience.
Next up is Sirena Skye Raymond, Miss Windsor Historical Society.
Breathe. Let's go back in time. It's a warm summer's day in a lush green environment at Welch Park in Windsor. The swings I've swung on, the softball fields I've ran on, and yes, the swimming pool. To me, swim lessons were much more than just learning how to move through water. It was a blueprint to navigate life's obstacles. In the beginning, swimming was not my strong suit. I remember splashing chaotically, arms, legs, everywhere, getting nowhere. The lifeguard said all we had to do was pull, breathe, kick, and glide. He said it so much, I dreamt it. Pull, breathe, kick, glide. But after years of having this phrase stuck in my head, I didn't realize it was a guide to getting through life's difficult moments. Growing up, I was shy and anxious. Like when I played the pool game, Marco Polo, and someone yelled, Marco, I'd offer my whispering's response of Polo. I didn't want to speak or be heard or be found. I wish I could go back and tell myself not to forget the phrase I learned in swim lessons. Pull, breathe, kick, glide. Pull yourself together. Breathe in new beginnings. Kick out uncertainty and glide into challenging situations. Some of my best moments happened because this phrase popped into my head. It's scary swimming in the dark, not knowing what lurks out there. New experiences can take your breath away. But all you have to do is take a deep breath and plunge into the moment. The fear can make you want to sink below the surface and stay inside the safety of your own shallow environment. We have to remind ourselves to kick to the surface and become the best person we can be. As the first and youngest student representative board member at the Windsor Historical Society, I feared speaking up with the older members of the group. Anxious thoughts would creep in, making me doubt what I should say. Those swirling thoughts can make you feel like you're drowning. But I'd kick my anxiety to the side and share how I believe the Historical Society can make a greater impact. So today, as a certified lifeguard myself, I'm now teaching you to pull on your resources, your friends, family, yourself. Breathe in peaceful thoughts of success. Kick out the doubt. Believe me, you don't need it. And glide into the person you are worthy of becoming. Keep taking chances. Yell out, Polo, loud when you hear Marco. Don't shy away and kick yourself for not being brave enough to swim in uncharted waters. My next high dive is going across the country to McAllister College. When I nervously step onto the airplane in Minnesota, I'll be leaving behind the anxiety-laden child, but taking the lessons she's taught me. For my final glide to success, I'll follow the advice of Dory from my favorite childhood movie. Just keep swimming. I'd like to say thank you to Heidi from Color Me Crazy for doing my hair and makeup, and for the Windsor Historical Society for this opportunity and giving me the confidence toward a career in political science. Remember to learn from our past to make the needed change for our future. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Emery Conant. Miss Rotary Club of Windsor.
It was my first day of softball practice. As this was the first time I've ever joined a new sport, I had no clue who anyone was or how to play. This was the hardest part of growing up, figuring out who I was and what I wanted to surround myself with. Starting softball showed me so many new things. I made so many new friends and gained knowledge of a new sport. Softball turned out to not be my calling, but it did teach me one thing. Always try something new because you'll never know if you like it or not. Growing up in Windsor, I didn't go to public schools or grow up with the people around me, so everyone was new to me when I started high school. Joining sports when I was younger helped me find my best friends, but I still was in the dark about everyone around me. Growing up was hard for me. After finding out my sister had died at an early age, I became angry and sad. It took up a lot of my time thinking about her and wishing she was here to guide me through life. Joining the local therapy group called Mary's Place helped me connect with people who have lost someone dear to them. Having people that were like me helped a lot. If there was one thing I would tell my childhood self, it would be to let go of that anger and make sure to always love what you have. I was so upset over this loss of someone I didn't have, I would forget to love and cherish the people I did. I would tell her not to be afraid of the obstacles that come her way and to embrace the craziness without looking back or judging what people have to say about her. I am so grateful my name was pulled out of that lottery to be able to attend an Ivy League school, but it definitely gave me a hard time making friends from my hometown. I learned so much from growing up in the system and really grasped the thinking process of digging deeper than what's on the outside. This was given to me by Museum Academy, my elementary school. Learning VTS, visual thinking strategies, helped me think about what I am seeing instead of passing by what's on the outside. My middle school taught me how to be tough. I wasn't the most likable kid there, and I didn't really fit into friend groups, so when I had to stand up for myself about being bullied, it showed me that the person who would advocate and have my back was me. You are your protector, and always need to love and cherish yourself before anything. Learning that I am my greatest strength helped me convince my mom that I wanted to go to public school. To be able to have a real high school experience and make more friends that I live close to. Now, 4 years later, I attend Windsor High School and I am graduating in a month, going into nursing at the University of Alabama. Taking this leap of school changes helped me find my forever friends and figure out what I want my future to be. Growing up watching these beautiful girls ride through parades with gowns that were made for a princess changed everything for me. Getting to see little girls' face light up when I walk by warms my heart, and I can't thank Windsor enough for giving me this amazing experience. No matter what the outcome is, I can wholeheartedly say that this was an amazing opportunity and I wouldn't change it for the world. I want to say thank you to the Rotary Club of Windsor for supporting me through this and my parents for helping me through this process. I hope you all have a wonderful evening and thank you.
One more applause for everybody. All right, I want to say thank you to our candidates and our judges. The judges will now leave the room for deliberation. And I just want to say tonight's entertainment is provided by Tyrone Lumpkin with United DJs. At this time, we would like to invite the candidates and their escorts to enjoy their first dance. After the dance, we invite everyone to join us on the dance floor. to the room. Welcome once again our 2024 Shad candidates. All right, I have the pleasure of introducing Abby Renda, 2023 Shad Queen. Abby is currently a first-year student at Johnson & Wales University in the College of Business and Honors program, earning a spot on the Dean's List in her first semester. Abby is the Secretary of the Accounting Association, a member of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and a member of the cross country and lacrosse teams. Tomorrow, Abby will be competing in her lacrosse conference championship game. Please join me in welcoming Abby Renda.
Good evening, everyone. Just have a quick couple of words. I'd like to thank you for inviting me here tonight to support these young women. I congratulate each and every one of you for being here tonight, for stepping out of your comfort zone and representing our town of Windsor so well. Every single speech was fantastic. I'd like to thank the members of the Queen Committee for their dedication to their candidates. Reflecting on the past year since receiving the honor of Shad Queen, I'm able to see the impact that it's had on me. Preparing and giving speeches at the gala and the ball allowed me to practice public speaking. The interview process, though nerve-wracking, prepared me for the interviews and networking that I now experience in college. I'd also like to thank each of the sponsors here tonight, as well as my own, the Four Seasons Landscaping, who give the candidates this amazing opportunity, and for the volunteers that make the Shad Derby so special. With such an amazing group of girls, I'm sure the judges had a very difficult decision this year. Each of you have a very bright future ahead, and I'm sure you'll excel in the coming year. I won't keep you waiting any longer. Congratulations, candidates, and good luck. You all should be very proud of yourselves.
Next, I would like to introduce and welcome the official, guys, I gotta say, I'm having so much fun tonight, I'm losing my voice. So, I apologize. The coffee shop tomorrow, people will be like, what? So I would like to introduce and welcome the official auditor for the 2024 Shad Derby, Timothy Karlowicz.
Good evening. In my hand, I have the results of the 2024 Shad Derby. The Mariel Messina Award, the Vince Scully Memorial Award, Miss Congeniality, Second Princess, First Princess, Princess Royale, and the Queen. As the auditor of the Shad Derby, it's been my job to remain independent of the judges and the contestants, ensure a fair process, and to tabulate the judges' scores after each of the events, and present the winner to the MC at tonight's event. I'm grateful that the committee asked me back again this year, as it's a privilege to listen to these young ladies talk about their diverse talents, backgrounds, and experiences. As I've said in the past, every year I take something away from what the contestants share, and it helps me to reflect on my own life, and this year was no exception. Realizing that I'm what stands between all of you and the winners being announced, I want to take just a few minutes and share how each of these honors is determined. The Mary Ellen Messina Award is determined by the judges based on an essay written by each of the contestants. The judges looked at the content of the essay and how well each contestant expressed themselves in their community service involvement. The Vince Scully Memorial Award is given to the contestant who demonstrated their support and involvement throughout this year's Shad Derby events and most closely encapsulated the spirit and dedication Vince had to this timeless tradition. Miss Congeniality is awarded to the contestant who has received the most number of votes from among her peers. Each of the contestants was asked to cast one vote on who they believe was most deserving of the title Miss Congeniality. The individual with the most votes will be honored as the favorite among her peers. The next 4 honors are awarded to the top 4 contestants who have received the highest number of votes from the judges throughout the process. The scores are comprised of 3 judges' votes over 3 separate nights, this being the final night. I want to take you back to a night in early March. The contestants met the judges for the first time and were asked to deliver a 1-minute speech about themselves and their interests. We heard about their love for youth theater, musicals, acting, field hockey, soccer, volleyball, basketball, swimming, and being a news anchor. They spoke about being a youth leader at church, teaching basketball, even though they said they couldn't play themselves, placing kindness rocks around town, being a camp counselor, baking, a hairdresser. And most of all, they shared about their support systems. Many of you here tonight, cheering them on, picking them up when they fall, and encouraging them when they succeed. These speeches introduced the young ladies to the judges and proved that it was going to be another tough year. This round comprised 15% of the contestants' overall score and was based on the presentation of the speech, their poise, and their appearance. In April, the second round kicked off at the Windsor Town Hall, and this comprised 60% of the contestants' overall score. Each candidate met individually with a panel of judges and was asked 4 questions. How do you think the technology we use every day affects modern communication? What is your favorite memory growing up in Windsor? What is the greatest challenge facing our generation? And finally, NASA had their first all-female spacewalk. What do you think this means for the future of women in STEM? What would you have talked about if you had to answer those questions? What would you have said? They talked about technology and the benefits and detriments. They shared stories of how it helped them, but also harmed them or their friends. They talked about the inspiration of the women from NASA and others who have blazed trails before them to inspire them and show young girls that they can be and do anything they set their minds to. When they reflected on Windsor, we heard about the color run, St. Gabe's School, playing sports at different parks around town, Little League opening day, hanging out with friends, riding bikes in their neighborhood on trails and at Northwest Park, the Chili Challenge on the green, and working in the tobacco fields. As each of these young women talked, you could tell these weren't fleeting memories, but experiences that have shaped who they are, their outlook in life, and the people they are growing up to become. And they spoke about, many of you in this room, experiencing those memories with them. All the contestants used their time with the judges as an opportunity to open the door to their lives a little bit more. And the judges got a glimmer into who these young ladies are. Each judge then scored based on community and school involvement, outside interest, knowledge of current events, appearance, poise, personality, and attitude. And finally, as you heard tonight, the culmination of all the judging was based on the essay that they read. This comprised the last 25% of the overall vote and was based on their essay, their poise, and their appearance. I've been uniquely involved in the Queen's contestant for 17 years, able to hear from contestants not just through their speeches, but through their unscripted perspectives and experiences. As I read the news and hear stories about what's going on in our nation and across the world, so much focuses on the negative of the human condition. I then step back and compare it to the words that we heard tonight and the perspectives of these young ladies throughout the competition and those that have gone before them. And I see a disconnect because the narrative on the news and the reality here on the ground are different. But the disconnect gives me hope and should give all of us pride. Because before you is a future psychologist, speech pathologist, medical technician, business leaders, bakers, athletes, hairdressers, news anchors, advocates for the underprivileged, and much more. And they have inspiring stories and great expectations of themselves. And as they go out into the world, they will be an example and reflection of this community and those in the room whose support and encouragement has helped them be the people they are today. I think back to that question about the female spacewalk from NASA and the inspiration you each shared and what you said it meant to you. Well, I want to encourage you to find your spacewalk, the trail you want to blaze, so when people hear your story, they will be encouraged and inspired, and they'll say to themselves, I can do it because she did. Thank you all, and now let's get to the results.
All right, at this time, I would like to invite up our festival chair again, Kristen Hoffman, to present the Vincent Scully Memorial Award.
Thank you. One thing I wanted to comment, Tim kind of slid it in, 17 years you've been our auditor. So I think he owes a big round of applause for doing that. The Community Service Award is named in honor of Vincent Scully, longtime Windsor resident, business owner, and past festival chair and 30-year sponsor of the Shad Derby Queen's candidates. It is awarded to the candidate who obtains the largest number of participants for the Shad Derby bowling fundraiser that took place on March 10th this year, in keeping with Mr. Scully's drive and ambition to always strive for excellence. And the winner of the Vincent Scully Award is Patty Shea.
Would like to welcome back up Regina Wiggins and Monica Nugent to present the Windsor Junior Women's Club Mary Ellen Messina Award.
Each year at the Coronation Ball, the Windsor Junior Women's Club honors a candidate at the Shad Derby Queens competition. We bestow this Community Involvement Award to the candidate who best exemplifies a great regard for involvement in the Windsor community. In 1969, Mary Ellen Messina spearheaded the charter group of Windsor Juniors on a path of service, fundraising, and community awareness. Her contributions to the people of Windsor illustrated a deep commitment to community and enforced the quality of life in our town. Windsor Juniors contribute to keep her sense of community alive by giving this award in her memory.
The winner of the Mary Ellen Messina Award is Emily Lattimer.
The Shad Derby tradition is kept alive through the generous donations from many local businesses. These wonderful contributions are listed in the ball program you all had in your seats when you came in. It is due to the generosity of these supporters and each of the canvas sponsors that we were able to present the 2024 Shad Derby Queen and their wonderful awards. And now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Congeniality is an award that is selected by the candidates themselves. This year, this award is graciously sponsored by Dr. and Mrs. Ganji. All right. The 2024 Shad Derby Miss Congeniality Award goes to Olivia Karlowicz. All right, the 2024 Shad Derby Second Princess. Jadyanny Rosario. All right, the 2024 Shad Derby First Princess is Madison Shea. The 2024 Shad Derby Princess Royale is Emery Lattimer. The 2024 Shad Derby Queen will receive a Shad Derby Award and a beautiful tiara donated by the Hoffman family. So with the anticipation, the 2024 Shad Derby Queen is Sirena, Skye, Congratulations again, ladies. You guys did an amazing job tonight. Congrats. And please remain seated while our Queen's Court parents and sponsors come to the stage. And once again, congratulations to the 2024 Shad Derby Queen and her court.
I just walked in, find you here with that look on